Hey Rockers, and welcome to the first installment of the 5 top most Googled fitness questions. Over the next few weeks, we're going to be breaking these down. So the first question is, how often should we be training? So we have 4 points to this question. So starting off with training history, there are a few things we have to ask ourselves. The first question is, has it actually been good quality training? Just because we've been in the gym for 2 years, 3 years, does not mean we're moderate or advanced. We could train for 2 to 3 years and it could be subpar training. What this means is that our muscles may not have matured yet. So you can be in the gym for years and still be at a beginner's level. Now this isn't how you feel about your training, this is your muscle maturity. Now being a beginner isn't necessarily bad. As a beginner, you're so sensitive to training that anything you do will spark growth and results. However, this does taper off, and once it does, we need to get more specific on who we are and where we're going with our training. So as this tapers, getting more individualized is extremely important. It means that the programs have to be designed specifically for you, who you are, your age, your sex, and your goals. So the next thing we're going to look at is time restraints. Do we have 30 minutes 5 times a week? Or do we have only 2 hours twice a week? So because of this, our intensity and our duration of our programs will change. Simply having more time in the gym does not necessarily mean we're going to be getting better training. It just means that it will be different methods that we're going to use to get our results. Just to throw it in there, if you're keen on the content, please like and share, and don't forget to subscribe for us. So point number 3, intensity and duration. Now one key note that you may want to look in is as intensity goes up, duration should go down. Normally, depending on our goals and where we want to go. There are a couple of things that I'd like to mention. MEV and MRV. MEV is minimum effective volume and MRV is maximum recoverable volume. So MEV is the minimal amount that you have to do to actually get some form of result. And MRV is maximum recoverable volume, which is the most we can do before we simply can't recover from it. Doing more is not necessarily better. There is a point of diminishing returns. Just because you still feel it in the muscle does not necessarily mean this is a good thing. One way to look at this is that if we come into the gym drunk, it's going to be the hardest workout you've ever done. Doesn't mean it's going to be good quality training though. So now let's look at sex. And yes, age and sex do matter. When we're younger, we have more hormones, which means we may be able to go harder and actually recover better for our training. As we get older, we need to become smarter with our training. As we get older, some issues are we're more prone to injuries. Our joints and ligaments just don't bounce back the same. Now, how does sex come into play? Now, this is just a generalization, but men tend to be able to lift more weight than what a female can, which means that we're putting more strain on the central nervous system and more strain on the body. Now, that being said, if a guy in his 20s that's never lifted a weight before and is extremely underweight, will not be able to lift these massive loads. Or a female that has been lifting for years and say is a powerlifter will be able to lift heavy loads. So the female powerlifter will need less training sessions throughout the week than the male. So some questions we should be asking ourselves. Training history. Are you getting stronger? Are you improving? Have our muscles really matured? We need to be honest with ourselves. Am I pushing hard enough in the gym, or am I pushing too hard and regressing? When you lift a weight, are you feeling it where you're meant to be feeling it? Or are you just moving a weight from point A to point B? You have to be honest with yourself. If you are in the beginner phase, try sticking to compound lifts and really getting the foundation down right first, before getting into specific little muscles. You can also ask a professional for some advice on which way to go. Again, if you are in a time restraint, try taking out some of the accessory movers and sticking to the compound lifts and really hitting them well. If you are able to get in for a good training session, try spreading out the exercises and not go guns blazing on every single set. We really have to listen to our bodies. Are you waking up the next day so beat up that you can't move, feeling like a truck's run you over? Might be training a little bit too hard. Or do you feel like you really haven't done much at all? May want to look at increasing the intensity. There are a couple of things that could be telltale signs that your training isn't optimal. Are you becoming demotivated? Are you not getting the results? Are you getting sick or injured? Thanks everybody. Remember to leave a comment to be a part of the conversation, and keep safe.